Greetings everyone, what is up, it's me here again, Tim Prime 1 with another video for all of you out there, and it's been a while since I've last done a video. Oh, I'll tell you this, me and my wife and I, we've been binge watching One Piece for quite some time, needing a good break from that right there. Currently on Whole Cake, currently on the Whole Cake Island arc, but, that's not what I want to talk to you all about. I began practicing this last night, I can't remember how I started it, but I just want to talk to you all about within my religious areas of like how God works with all of us, how he helps us on not everything. Because I want to say this right now. Throughout all the years sorry, let me try again. As my mom would say, 1, 2, 3. I'll have to admit this. Like, so many years ago, I was not a truly dedicated Christian. I honestly wasn't. In which God was still with me, but he still, I'll admit to this, he still punished me in certain ways. He still, he's still, oh boy, how can I, but how, I'm trying to say the words, but they don't want to come out of my mouth. But let me just say this. So many years ago, I was not a fully dedicated Christian like I am right now. Well, I'm far more dedicated compared to how I was so many years ago. And I must say this, that ever since Hurricane Helene, a lot of stuff has changed up a great deal. A lot of stuff changed up a great deal. And I must say this, I must honestly say this, with how things have been changing up a whole lot, especially finance-wise, I'll admit it's been pretty difficult. It's been pretty difficult. But I'm going to say this, even though finance-wise things have been complicated, God has truly been working with me over time of how, he's been trying to tell me to calm down, look to him, and he'll get us through our financial situations. One of the examples is whenever we decided to buy a truck last year, it was after my wife had managed to get hired on for another job, but let's just say that complications arose with that job right there, especially since, well, I'm not going into full detail. Let's just say that they decided to they did something that prevented my wife from going further into the employment area with them. But we've had a truck for a while, and quite frankly, I was beginning to wonder how we're going to be better off financially. So over a period of time, I've also begun to think a cell phone company provider. Because I noticed how we have an AT&T cell phone, and it costs us $240 just to pay pay off our cell phone bill and everything. And I'm just thinking this is insane. It's hard for me to afford this. I know my wife can afford it, but here's one thing God did. He caught us away from AT&T, and he delivered us to Verizon. He took us to Verizon, because I'll say this is the phone I have right now, the one that I'm recording with. We went to Cricket at one point, and once I saw that cell phone right there in Cricket, I felt it right in here. That's my phone. That's my phone. But Cricket wasn't meant for us. Cricket wasn't honestly meant for us. If you're wondering why, it's because God wasn't calling us to Cricket. I wanted to go to a cheap provider, but Cricket was not the answer. So what God did is that he called me and my wife over to Verizon. He called us over there. I went over to Verizon because I'll admit I felt the Holy Spirit within inside of me pull me over to Verizon. we went there, and as soon as we found out that like they had the phone I was looking for, and I told them I was considering on switching on over, I think it might have been, it was somewhere in December, early December. I went on over there on a Saturday, and we began to set up my new, a brand new Verizon account. And there are some hidden fees in there, but you can waive those hidden, but you can get rid of those hidden fees through the My Verizon app. So yeah, that's what happened. Well, so that part right there, and also early this year, as my wife said that she felt like she was being called to Verizon because it's the whole experience out of her telling her go to Verizon, get yourself a new phone from them. So my wife went on over there. So me and my wife went on over there, and we began to like transfer her stuff from her current cell phone to her new cell phone, and they bought her current phone. It wasn't fully paid off, but Verizon paid it off in full, and we managed to get the whole thing dealt with. And my wife had to jump through a lot of hoops just to like get the cell phone paid off with AT&T. Ooh, that was a fun experience. And also, I'll say this: last year, I wanted to grab up. I saw these two guys in Target. Wanted to grab them on up, but Holy Spirit inside of me told me, no, don't do that right now. Just wait. And so I was like, okay, I'll wait a while. I knew I wanted to wait a while because I didn't want to really grab these guys on up right fast because I wanted to try and keep an eye on my finances and everything. And next thing I know is that as soon as I began to wait, and this year, as soon as we got our tax refund on in, I began to find myself like in a bit of a like with enough room to go ahead and purchase the figures. So I went onto eBay, and I managed to find these. It took me a bit of time, but I found these two guys right here for a really good price on eBay from some really good sales. One of them of which he had one of the two figures that I was looking for, and he told me that he bought his for high price, and he says that he knows he's gonna be losing some money. I just told him straight up, dude, you got scalped. You got price scalped. Because quite frankly, asking $80 for this thing right here? No. Stop majorly. If I was to sell these guys online, I'd probably sell them for like maybe $5 or $10 more for a small profit, just a small profit, because I already work for a living. And quite frankly, yeah, I did that right there. But I was also thinking like I want to also put some money back in my account to make up for like just to make up for one of these figures. And soon enough, like since I had some time off, and I took my daughter with me. We both went to Rural King because I wanted to get myself a couple new pair of pants. So I took a $100 bill from the tax refund, went on over there. I looked for a couple of pairs of pants, and I found two of the same pair of pants, and I'm like, there we go, bingo, I found my pants. Had quite a few tries. Had quite a few tries to try, about 2 or 3 tries, I'd say. Well, a few tries to find the right pair of pants. So I bought the pair of pants, and the change back, it might have been a smidge under the total reimbursement, but I was like, I can just use this to put in my bank account to reimburse me for one of the figures. So I did so. And quite frankly, that was God working with me in order for me to put money into my account and for me to like deal with everything properly. It's how God was telling me of how to spend my money right then and there. And it's how he wanted me to spend it as well, because I can understand how he wants me to do it. Another example are these two figures right here. These two figures. I decided to, like, whenever me and my wife went to South Carolina, put this thing on backwards. My wife and I went to South Carolina for a bit. And I had and like I told my brother, I'll go with you to Walmart. And we were, and he says like, we can't be in there for too long. I got work, a lot of stuff to do. But I was like, I'm like, on my way, already, I'm like, I just want to take a look at the figures real fast, just to take a quick look at them. It's like, I knew it, blah, 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 blah. Like, bro, this won't take me too long. Just gotta go in there, look at them real fast, get on out. Next thing I know, I see these two in there, Quintus Prime and, forget his name. I know he's like the combiner for the bodies of Superion. Superion, Menasor, and what's that other figure out there? The Combaticons, Bruticus. I decided, you know what? I'm just going to get this figure instead. I'm just going to get this figure. But something inside of me was the Holy Spirit inside of me telling me, go back and get this. Go back and get this. I'm like, I don't want to go back, but the Holy Spirit pulled me back to toy aisle. I picked him on up, even though he is well above what he's worth. I bought him, and even though it was over $70 for the two figures right here, there's one thing I can tell. God was telling me, I got you covered. I've got you covered. He's helping me on out. Not only that, but also, before we left South Carolina to come back up here, God was telling me to put $30 into the gas tank. Because my brother, he gave us a 10 and 2 5s to help us on out. My mother, whenever we were right at the end of the road, he's like, do you guys want me to give you guys 20? I'm like, no, John Illinois gave us to $20. And so once we got to the gas station, I gave my wife, my nose is leaking again. I gave my wife the $30, and I told her, go ahead and put this on in. She put it on in, and that was definitely more than enough to get us back up here to North Carolina. There. So far, God has been working with me and my wife in order for us to spend our money properly. And also, over the weekend, I was like, I want to use a bit of the tax refund again, like $100 of it. This guy right here. I wanted to grab up this guy whenever I first saw him at Walmart, but I had a wait feeling. I had a feeling to wait. So we went to Hickory for a bit. We went out of town. Bought my daughter some items from Target, including a couple of Bluey books. She loves Bluey still. And once we got back to Morganton, I waited for a bit of time. Even though the app said it was out of stock, he was still there. And I was thinking a lot, and once I would begin to check on out to get him, and also some gum that we somehow misplaced. Don't ask me how. And we also bought something else. I forgot what it was, but we bought like this guy along with a couple other super cheap. Oh yeah, Play-Doh. My daughter wanted some Play-Doh and the bubble gum, so I got those right there. And I'm like, I could use a part of that 20 because I didn't have a rate feeling right there and there. God wanted me to break that 100 so I could go back to Walmart and purchase this guy right here. So yeah, with how God has been working with us, financial wise, like it's truly incredible, and I'm very thankful to God, Christ, and the Holy Spirit for working inside of me in order for me to get things dealt with properly. Excuse me. I will say this: I do hope that at some point, that with our finances, well, not fully for sure how to put this, but I do know God is working with us. He's helping us on out to knowing what to buy, what to grab up, and what not to grab up. He says that he has us covered. He does say he has us covered, but he's working in a mysterious way to keep us covered. And so, from right there, I'm beginning to think like, it's going to be a while until we get back into a financially stable situation again, but it'll definitely be worth it in the long run. let's see here. Also, this also reminds me of when I got scammed a while back. Like this was over a year ago. Wait, I think it was 2 years ago. I got scammed because it was near the end of school. I somehow fall into this one person that's scamming me, saying like, "Oh my gosh, I accidentally reported you." And I'm thinking like, "What? What are you talking about? I accidentally reported your account." My main thought was, "Why didn't you just tell the people this?" Turns out, like he was scamming. He was another person that stole that profile to scam me, and let's just say I'll be discussing this later on. I did lose a whole lot of money. But the Holy Spirit told me everything would be okay. I was in the boys' restroom taking care of a few things, and the Holy Spirit inside of me spoke to me very loudly, firmly, and gently. Everything will be okay. Everything will be all right. And the Holy Spirit is never wrong. It is never wrong. And I'm very thankful for how much we've gotten through so far. Despite the fact we have a truck, I think I know of a good person that truck can actually go to because of how he's having to deal with like someone out there. But if we are to sell him the truck, it would have to be waiting until after the summer because my dad is needing to borrow the truck. And I think I know how much I want to sell it to him for, because I don't want to go overboard with selling it to him. I just want to sell it to him for like a decent enough price where we make enough profit to like do up the title and the tag. And if there's any profit left on over, we'll keep that profit right there, or put that profit into my dollar savings, or put however much into our savings, or potentially donate it. But yeah, so far with how God does work, he does work in mysterious ways. And I'm grateful for how much he's been working with us. Even though we are not deserving of it, he has worked with us greatly. And I've been enjoying it a great deal. But I'll admit this, like, even though there's some stuff I want to do, I have to do it, like, I have to take care of things one day at a time, as my wife has said. But sometimes I like to think, well, a lot of times I like to think ahead, a schedule, so that way I can be like, we got to get ready for this, we got to get ready for this right here, we got to get ready for this. I can't always cross that bridge when you get there. You got to, like, plan on it. Sorry, congestion. But yeah, there's a lot to learn and understand about God. And this is why I've also looked into the Bible and read the Bible as much as possible in order for me to learn and understand what God tells me. Especially from like when my brother told me to read from I think it was like Chronicles. It's like in the New Testament, in Chronicles. I felt like this is where I'm supposed to start. This is what I need to read at. So yeah, I have a blast of flying here. So that's it, everyone. And I hope you all have enjoyed this video. So if you all enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe with me and Wishmaker, and check me out on other social media such as not really Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Discord, and so on. Until next one, I'm Tim Palmer. I'll be signing off right now. So peace out.